Hello, welcome to another episode of Set Musings. So we're up to core set 2021, and what should we be looking out here? Looking out for, should I say. So we have themes and mechanics such as, well, there's a Tarifi theme, a dogs and cats theme, and shrines. Keywords and ability words we should be on the lookout for is mill. So in this set they use specifically the term mill on cards. There's also a reference to phasing, and we've also got prowess in the set. Now, the set was released on July the 3rd, 2020. There are 274 cards in the set, 111 commons, 80 uncommons, 53 rares, 15 mythic rares, and 15 basic lands. Now, the observant among you may notice that in Scryfall it lists the in-booster count as 277 at the top. That's because they've included in there the 3 Tarifi Master of Time variants, which, although they have card numbers above 274, and we'll see that in a moment when we get down the bottom, I believe that they were included in the boosters. Other variants that appeared in various other products, there were 6 alternative art borderless cards. There were 29 showcase cards, so that's the ones where they have the sort of border that's designed specifically for the sets, and so they crop up in a number of places. There's 6 alternate art borderless cards. There's a buy a box promo. There's 20 Planeswalker deck exclusives, and the high numbers due to the fact that there's 5 Planeswalker decks in the core set, something they were still carrying on at this point with the core sets. There's 52 extended art cards. There's a bundle promo, and then those 5 dark frame promos as well. So, as we've seen before, some of those, obviously you can tell by the names, crop up in certain products. Some randomly appear in the boosters as alternatives to the regular booster cards in a specific slot. Scroll down here, we can see we've got down to the various non-basic lands. We're down to the basic lands, so 3 pieces of artwork. It's always nice to see variants again. And then these are the 3 Tarifi cards, and you'll notice they have numbers above 274. We move on to the buy a box card, the borderless planeswalkers, the showcase cards. So this was the sort of unique inner framework design for those showcase cards in this set. You can see there's a few other embellishments here as well. Some alternate art land in the same style there. There's the borderless cards. And these are the Planeswalker deck exclusives, and you can see from this it's pretty obvious that we've got a Planeswalker deck in each of the colours, and then these are the 52 extended art cards. So they're definitely running in terms of numbers with extended art here. So that takes up the bulk of the alternate artwork, whatever you want to call it. We've got 6 promos. And there we go. So that's basically the one bundle promo, and then these dark frame promos. So just so we're clear here, if you do the Scryfall search and get it to exclude anything below 274, so show anything above that number, or sorry, below, yeah, exclude anything below 275, should I say. So 275 and above, you get 110 cards in total. So it's a core set, so we're going to see a lot more reprints. 97 reprinted cards in the set. 183 cards that aren't reprints, and of course that bulks together as one thing both the cards that are in the boosters and any cards that might be exclusives as well. If you were to say net off, so I get the number right here, do something like this. You can sort of see now with this, so that was the new cards, and then for the reprints we've got Baneslayer Angel in the set, which is interesting. Same number, so yeah, that makes perfect sense actually. So in here we get a different number with the new cards if we include just the booster card, the cards in the regular boosters, and then if we include all the cards in both the regular boosters and any exclusives. So looking at cards where there's no colour in the casting cost, there's no colour activation anywhere in the rules text, we have 15 of those, including Meteorite, Paladin, Mir, Prismite, Solemn Simulacrum is in the set, alongside Tormod's Crypt. Nothing in the set is falls into the category where you have no colour in the casting cost but a colour in the rules text in terms of either an activation cost or specific colour of mana generated. We've got 233 cards in the set in total where they're totally monocolour, both in the casting cost and in the rules text. We don't have any cards where they're one colour in the casting cost but they have another colour somewhere in their rules text. These are all the 2 colour casting cost cards, so there's 12 of those. No doubt we'll see some of these are draft archetype indicators as we get through here. Nothing where there's 2 colour in the casting cost but there's a higher colour ID because of additional colours in the rules text. And these are the multicolour cards that have more than 2 colours in the casting cost. Moving on to the different creature types in the different colours. So in white You can see here we've got humans, other subtypes as well, like soldiers and clerics. We've got dogs in here, angels, cats. So I said that, you know, dogs and cats was a theme. Got unicorns, Pegasus. But in white you can see there's quite a number of humans. Also, yeah, you can see there unicorns and Pegasus cropping up again. And then you've got the sort of 2-colour hybrids, or in this case the 3-colour. So in blue, more humans. Sirens, fish, whales, spirits, merfolk. Oh, there's a shark. Krakens. Drakes. So quite a variety here. Another wall. Well, Scalcottle's been reprinted for this. I wonder when it was in last. So it looks like it's mainly cropped up in Modern Masters or decks before. I remember it from Alara Reborn. In black. So what do we got again? More humans, vampires, zombies, insects, horrors, fungus, imp, demons and snakes. I've got a pirate cropping up. More zombies. Massacre worm is in the set. So we definitely seeing zombies. We're seeing vampires and zombies. It's a mashup. Zombies. Oh, an alt pirate. And in red, an elemental dog. Look at this, quite a few elementals here. Dragons, goblin arsonists is in the set. Got a few goblins going on. Devils, dragons, yeah. Lots of elemental dogs kicking around in red. Terror of the Peaks. Oh, that doggo's on fire. And in green, now let me just check something. It's been, I wonder how many times this has been reprinted. Oh, there's Colossal Dreadmore. So yeah, we've got some dinosaurs in green. And we're still running with that a bit in the sets. Cats and elves. Beasts. Treefolk druids. Elf druid. So, a little bit druidy. And we've got some cats in green as well. Oh, there's scavenging ooze. Another tree folk, another dinosaur. Ah, always good to see a hydra. And our Lord Scalcottle again because it's green-blue. Right, big spells. We've got Chromatic Aura in the set. So 7 up to 11 Volcanic Salvo. Ugin's also in here. So what do we got? It's black, red, a couple of black, 3 blue, a couple of colourless casting costs, a couple of red ones. So yeah, Tarifi comes up quite a bit in the set. There's these variants, you'll notice. So there's the one within the sort of booster slots, the regular booster slots, and then, I mean, it's the same card essentially, but you can see there's some variations here. So 275, 276. So we've got the, you know, these Master of Times, 281, 293. But also there's a number of namesake cards as well, and we'll get back to the issue of namesake cards as well. Because that does crop up in the set in another way. 11 cards which either are of type dog or reference dog somewhere in the rules text. Got Animal Sanctuary in here for your bird, cat, dog, goat, ox, snake deck, should you feel inclined. 11 cards again which either have a type of cat or reference a cat somewhere. I think this might be just because it mentions catalyst in here, so in actual fact 10. Yeah. So only 10. And probably this one. Why would this be in here? It's probably somewhere in here is cat. Anyway, so that will be down to 9. 6 shrines in the set, so it looks like we have a cycle along with a Wooburg one. I'm sure we'll see those again. 3 cards which specifically use mill in the Oracle text. So that's been keyworded now. Also, I thought I'd bring up cards which on the same card both interact with the library and the graveyard. Now these aren't all mill cards, but I thought it'd be interesting to see any cards that do both search your library and allow some sort of graveyard interaction as well. So 10 of those. 2 cards that specifically reference phasing, and those are Tarifi. We have 6 cards with prowess on there. Actually, let me just go back here. So, in case you're not familiar with phasing, so treat it and anything attached to it as though they don't exist until its controller's next turn. So phasing is a pretty old ability from way back, and yeah, returned to this set through Tarifi. So back to prowess. So with prowess, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And there's 6 cards with prowess on it. Of course, there's a number of other evergreen mechanics in the set as well, but those specifically were, sorry, I keep saying mechanics instead of abilities. Evergreen keywords, evergreen abilities, and those were specifically the ones that I wanted to flag up for this particular set. So moving on to our cycles. We have a cycle of legendary spellcasters, so 5 rare or mythic rare legendary human spellcasters. All of them have a connection to Tarifi or the continent of Jamura. So mono-coloured. We have 5 tribal lords, so dogs, spirits, rogues, goblins and cats. Cycle of Sanctums, as I mentioned, we've got this 6th one printed at rare, so all the others are uncommon. By the way, I don't know if I specifically mentioned it, the tribal lords, you can see the templating on them is quite different, but you can see the sort of thing they grant anything with the same type in them there. Anyway, back to the shrines. Again, quite a bit of variability here across the different colours. I think we've probably seen that generally, haven't we, with a lot of cycles now, where the templating is probably not quite as tight as it used to be, and there's quite a bit of wiggle across the colours. We've got a cycle of 5 temples, so rare enemy coloured Skylands, reprinted from the Theros block. Now, something I wanted to bring up, I mentioned about namesake cards. So there's this interesting vertical cycle going on. So you had white, blue, black, red, green namesake cards. The white ones were Basiri. The blue ones, as we've seen, were Teferi. And I apologise if I've said that wrong already. I sometimes say Tarifi for some reason, but I mean to say Teferi. And we've got Liliana. That's our vertical cycle. We have Chandra. That's the red one. And then Garak as our green one. Here's our draft signpost cycle. So 10 uncommon spells that support draft archetype for limited. Now the other thing to note here, and I can probably explain, so Flying Matters, Reanimator, Sacrifice, Ferocious, counters, +1/+1 counters, Life Gain, Prowess, Morbid, Go Wide, and Dog Tribal, and Card Draw are limited archetypes that they're sort of trying to suggest that you might want to try. Obviously you can try other things and combine more than 2 colours or stay monocoloured. Then we have the full cycle, the full dual cycle of life gain tap lands. Reprints from Khans of Tarkir. Okay. '21 mythic rares. The other thing in terms of cycles, which I haven't spoken about, is the pre-con only had cycles as well. So cycle of planeswalkers, planeswalker tutors. There were 3 of creatures and 4 of creatures, but we'll see the pre-cons in a moment. So yeah, in terms of the mythics, it's got quite a wide variety here. And of course what reminded me is that you can see within here we've got the pre-con only cards as well. the ones that were printed at Mythic. So you can see we've got all the Planeswalkers there. Basic lands. And you can see here we've got some alternate artwork in each of the colours. So in total there are 18 non-basic lands, which means if we've got the temples and we've got the life gain tap lands, there must be a couple more in here, or a few more in here. And yep, Animal Sanctuary is in the set, Fabled Passage and Radiant Fountain. There are 11 Planeswalkers in the set in total. That obviously includes any that are in the precons. So you can see with the full complement of precon decks, we've got one of each, if you like. So one Planeswalker that's in the boosters, the regular draft boosters, and one that's from the Planeswalker decks, the precons. 19 legendaries that aren't Planeswalkers. So in amongst this you can see we've got the shrines. If we decide to only just show the creatures there, you can see there are 11. And that will give you some idea of the sort of colour balance that we're seeing in any two colour ones. We've got 11 enchantments in the set. We have 6 of those shrines, which we've already seen, which are also enchantments, and legendary enchantments at that. We have 10 auras, and you can see alongside the auras that enchant creatures, which is mostly what you see, we've got ones that will actually enchant any permanent, and one down here which specifically enchants a creature you control. But nothing in red or black that black or green, which is where you commonly see it, that enchant lands. So 8 artifact creatures, that's quite a lot. You can see there's Solemn Simulacrum, I can never say that properly, Solemn Simulacrum, I think it is. 2 pieces of equipment, 7 artifacts that are just artifacts, including Meteorite, 39 instants. Now we're in a core set, so I don't necessarily expect anything here that's going to combine up in unusual ways. So we get the regular sort of utility, but we are seeing, like here, a bit of modality going on, modal spells, and some nice, I suppose you called it like targeted spells as well, or conditional spells. But I'm just looking to see if I see anything that's been stapled together with, say, prowess or mill with something else. You can probably already spot there's a number of reprints here as well in the instant slots, including things like Shock and Grasp of Darkness. So I suppose, you know, a lot of bread and butter instant spells, for want of a better word. 27 sorceries. Again, you know, we can play spot the reprints here. And then back to the full set. Right, so prices. It's no surprise to see now we're in the age of the alternate artwork. The most expensive cards are these alternate artwork cards. So I've got one there, Terror of the Peaks, clocking in at $60. And the next most expensive one is its regular printing. Chromatic Ori, Fiery Emancipation, all of the alternate artwork, like these ones, you know, the full artwork treatment, and then we get the regular Chromatic Ori. Still clocking in at $26. Ugin, and a regular version of Fiery Emancipation. There's the Rin and Siri one. There's a regular Ugin. So the presence of these alternate artwork is definitely contributing to how long it is before we see anything below $10. We've noticed that in a lot of sets now. So definitely a big impact on the secondary market. But I suppose you could argue at least you can then obtain the regular ones. Yeah, it's difficult to know, isn't it, whether that resulted in the regular cards being cheaper than they would have been had there not been alternate artwork cards. So I don't know. It's very difficult to evaluate that. Unless you develop a parallel universe where in one universe the set is printed without the alternate art and another set it is, and compare the two. Yeah, so we've now dropped below $10. So that took us a whole page, which is unusual. So interesting to see a core set with high prices. So in terms of the popularity on EDH Rec for the ranking, these are the new cards. So we got Garrick's Uprising, Village Rites, Veto, and again with the legendary creatures, just to clarify, of course, this is their use in all the decks. Well, in all the card slots in an EDH deck, not just the commander slot. Interesting to see we've got a number of a couple of the cards there, sorry, connected with Tarifi. Okay, these are the reprints. Cultivate, Solemn, yeah, okay. Opt, the temples. So, let us see. And no surprise there. So yeah, these are going to bubble to the surface. Fable's Passage. Okay, so both in the core set and in Throne of Eldraine. Okay. It's interesting how stuff there looking ahead. I mean, this is new to this set, or new to Magic as of this set, but you can see it was reprinted there later. So yeah, so a couple of cards there that weren't reprints. But again, you can see the temples here. Return to Nature is an interesting card. So that all appeared in War of the Spark. It's funny how something I've started to notice a lot more is as we've moved into the no sets per block, however you want to think about it. So, no block paradigm. Certain cards being reprinted fairly close together between sets. And then legendary wise, and again just looking at cards which crop up in all the various slots on EDH Rec, not just as a commander but also as one of the 99. And top of the list we have Azusa and then Veto. But you can probably guess, in a set where there is a strong theme, particularly there is one card here which I am going to go with in the Commander Turtle episode. But before we do that, let's just look at the core set generally. There's actually arena starter kits, but we talk about paper magic in these episodes, so I don't really need to talk about that. So the only real thing here, in addition to the boosters, if you like, outside of the boosters, is going to be the Planeswalker decks. So with the Planeswalker decks, we had 5 of them. And you may remember I'd said that for the regular sets, for the non-core sets, for the, whatever you want to call them, expansion sets, I don't even know what the correct term is now for non-core set products. But they'd moved over to Commander decks as being the sort of go-to precons. But for this core set, they stuck with Planeswalker decks. So you can see it's pretty straightforward. There's our, we've got 4 exclusives, 2 of which are a rare or above, and then we have 2 additional rares which aren't exclusives. But you can see pretty simple mana base. I don't know how popular core set Planeswalker decks were at this point. So, this week's Commander Turtle episode. How could I not resist Rin and Ciri? So with Rin and Ciri, a popular thing to do, particularly in these colours, red, green, white, would be just to go with Cat Tribal. Just go all in with Cat Tribal. I thought it would be cool to do Cat and Dog Tribal simultaneously. It would appear that Cat's Tribal is the most popular style of deck to go with this particular commander. Dog Tribal not so much, but I thought I'd do both. So you can see, and we'll go through these individually, we've got a lot of cats and dogs and a few other support cards. But we'll take a closer look at this when I do the Commander Fodder episode. So thanks once again for watching. Bye for now. And I will, that card catch makes me laugh, and I will catch you in the next episode.